Saudara and saudari, today I want to talk about the importance of doing something important. It's very important to do something important in life and how it can help us find our purpose and eventually help transform our life. During the peak of its second PKP in July 2021, three of my colleagues, Achan, Edo, and Bashirun, gathered up and said that maybe we could go and put these white flags online. Putting them physically would be a very tall order, even for most people that truly needed the help there. So my colleagues decided to act up, and they reached out to me if the company would support this. I said yes, and they rolled out KitaJaga within 3 days. We first built KitaJaga in July 2021, and then the flood happened in November 2021. We rolled out KitaJaga body wash to help with flood relief. And then they were issued the school supplies in February 2022. We rolled out KitaJaga back to school in February 2022. And then they were need of people looking for employment after COVID. So we rolled out KitaJaga Career in March 2022. And most recently, we were recruited to help fight inflation by the Ministry of Economy, and we rolled out KitaJaga Price Watch in April 2023. Since then, KitaJaga has assisted over 100,000 people in Malaysia and helping 200,000 send their eats to those who needed one. None of us in this company are politicians, none of us are social workers, none of us has much experience in social work or in the charity space. But we possess the ability of building amazing tech products. 15 years of experience building apps which you might have used yourself. We funneled that into building something which has cost us resources and time for the last 2 years. But the return from this experience came from building something which ended up impacting a few 100,000 people when most of these people truly need the help. And the returns on those are priceless, better than any business returns I could ever get. And most importantly, it helped us to find a purpose. Why did we do it? There are larger tech companies out there with few $billion in valuation. There are GLCs sitting on billions of dollars in cash. And there are government agencies with millions of unspent budget. But why? Why a team from Bangi, a small scrappy company, decided to build KitaJaga at the time when Malaysians needed it most? A lot of people keep asking us the question, why did you guys build it, right? Why did you guys keep building it? Why did you guys build it? We thought hard about this, and then we realized this. If we do not go and build this, no one else would do a good job at building it the way we did it, right? Because we were very clear. We built KitaJaga to help people. There was no intent to monetize on that application. And interestingly, in Islam, this is called Fardu Kifayah. Fardu Kifayah is about doing something when a lot of other people wouldn't do it. But if you were to do it, you discharge the rest of the community from the responsibility of doing it. Fardu Kifayah is this very beautiful concept, which will help you to find your purpose in life. It helps me find mine. And Fardu Kifayah is about doing what it takes. And if I were to boil down the 3 words that helped us find our purpose today, and I would reflect back on why I do a lot of things I did, it was about do something important. There is this favorite dialogue that I first saw in a movie in the 90s, right? So this was before the Apple iPhone came out. So Steve Jobs spoke to John Scott, back then the CEO of Pepsi. It was this very powerful dialogue of, do you want to sell sugared water or do you want to change the world? John Scully, of course, a few years after, kicked Steve out of Apple. But that dialogue boils down to one key thing, right? Do you want to change the world, or do you want to give diabetes to everyone? So that is a very, very important concept. So I would say, I think, although Steve made the wrong decision, but it does help John Scully get the idea and decided to push the human race forward with personal confidence. So what does do something important mean? For me, it's about setting priorities. Life is about setting your priorities. First of all, of course, with your family, with your relationships, with work, and what you want to focus on. We have choices at our hand. But also do realize that we have very limited bandwidth in our personal and professional life. For example, in my personal life, there are things which I focus on and should not be negotiable. In case, in my description, I'm content supporting the mid-table team, Chelsea now. I will never go and support Man City or Arsenal. So in my professional life, I focus on where it will generate most return to me personally and for the organizations that I work for. And how do you decide if something is worthwhile for you once you are presented with an opportunity? I'm double what Dua is, right? I'm 40, she's 20. So I feel old, but being young has its advantages. You will be presented with opportunity after opportunity. So try and ask yourself 3 questions. How would you grow out of this opportunity? How would this opportunity allow you to focus on what matters to you eventually? And also answer how big of a needle would you be personally moving in this opportunity? And ensure that you will be playing a core role in it. And last of all, you have to ensure that that's something that you decide to do has to give you energy and not suck energy out of you. My favorite questions for a lot of new hires that I have in my companies are, why do you want to work here? Their favorite response, surprisingly, is Mak suruh cari kerja. That is very, very disappointing, right? So that's a trick interview question. You shouldn't answer that way. But I find there are very few group of people that will decide to go honest. I need to work because I need the money. I need to work because I need to support my family. There's nothing wrong with that. That reason of needing to find money will give you that purpose for you to work. It will give meaning to the work that you do. What is not okay is not to find a reason on why you work. Because your work will occupy the majority of your productive time. So please find one which will give you purpose. And for me, personally, once I normally find something that I wanted to focus on, I also ensure that I focus on these 4 core pillars. Trust the process. Everything takes time. Takes your time. Second is curiosity. Always be curious. Third is empathy. Last of all, in whatever you do, always stretch for amazing. And let me explain a little bit about this. On trusting the process. When you have decided to go on a journey or on an opportunity, you need to have the faith on the journey. Great things takes time, so take your time to learn the ropes. Do not compare yourself with another who posted nicer OOTDs on Instagram. But just look back at where you were when you were starting the journey. This will give you the much needed clarity to move forward in life. Second, always be curious. Believe it or not, take your time to reach out to people who have done it. I've had the opportunities to sit down with a lot of people who has responded kindly to requests for coffee or a chat. There are a lot more nicer people out there than bad ones. That's what I believe in. So try to learn as much as you can once you've decided to specialize in something, especially when someone who's done it before. And empathy. Empathy is about understanding we're all different, we all work at different pace, wavelength, and we all have different priorities in life. And last of all, stretch for amazing. These are core values that I hope you will go home with you. Always look for opportunity to do stretch goals for whatever is important for you to do. Work hard, but be also very strategic on how that opportunity could help you grow. And I have this interesting life cycle theories on consumption smoothing, which is how an reference of how all the hard work you do in your early days, getting your CGPAs, working hard, burning the midnight oil, they would provide you the cushion in the later part of your life, always. And by focusing on these 4 core values, you can create a foundation for personal and professional success. Find meaning in your work and make a positive impact on the world around you. I believe, personally, I have had among the best jobs in the world, running companies which continuously develop kick-ass products, while also having time to tackle difficult problems which no one else wanted to look at. I hope you all will find yours as well. Find pride in your work. Find pride in your work, and find pride in your work. Again, I would like to conclude my speech with the word from the great Steve Jobs. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for your love, as true for your work as it is true for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way for you to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. And if you haven't found it yet, keep looking, don't settle. And it's also very important to know that your strength in doing all this important work will not just come from you. You must also find the right group of people for you to work with as well. I was fortunate, I have amazing colleagues that can do coding 10 times better than me, even 100 times, right? That was what made KitaJaga work. And it's the collective strength of everyone which will make everything works. And most importantly, only when we do important work, you will not dread to wake up every morning. Only then there is something to look forward beyond the paycheck at the end of the man. And only then there is something to learn, exciting things to learn every single day. And I will never be able to thank my team enough for making me be able to go and do something important every single day. And I hope you will find yours too. Thank you so much.